Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning to the Zoom folks. The YouTube folks aren't here yet. I don't know if the Facebook folks are here yet. Ken, good morning. Justin, thanks for being here. Izzy, good morning. Herbert, good to see you today. Tova, good morning. Retnalagan, Rentnalagan. Did I say that right? Good morning. I apologize if I didn't. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. I am not a good name pronouncer. Thomas, I got. Good morning, Thomas. Renting a Logan, maybe. Maybe that's a better way. Anyway, thanks for coming. Appreciate you being here. Logan, yeah, that would be a good shortcut for us challenged folks. Griffin, good morning. Good to see you here. Rick, good morning. Thank you for coming. U2 side has materialized. Kend, good morning. Kend Moroccan. Does that mean you're from Morocco, or is that your last name? I lost my coffee cup somewhere in the process. Hang tight. This is critical. We cannot proceed without the coffee cup, but I found it's on the other desk. My other monitor, my other desk. My monitor's all over the place. Eason, good morning. Herbert, looking for something exciting today on my second cup, if not going to play golf. That sounds like a solid plan to me. You should incorporate that into your trading plan, your official trading plan. Nothing exciting, then you go play golf. Step 2, you can write that in your plan, save it as a PDF, share it with your family and friends. We're going to get started here in 2 minutes. I logged in a little bit early. I always get paranoid that my login's going to fail. Kimasabi is in the house. Good to see you. Lee is also here. If you were XYZ, is all. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Love the name. Love the name. Yeah, we had CPI come out today, Consumer Price Index. How's everybody's CPI doing? I mean, are you like outraged about gasoline prices, or is it kind of in a normal range for you wherever you're at? I know it varies region to region. We're getting trading things coming in here. We're getting Griffin is wanted to be short at 70 really bad, so I'm long at 66. Collins, hello. First time, welcome. Glad you're here. Terrence says good morning from Soggy in Seattle. Even on my birthday, it rains. Happy birthday. Is it your birthday today, Terrence? Well, happy birthday. Thanks for coming. Great to be long at 46.66. Wow, yeah, it is great to be wrong. You got a 10 handle in it. Your 10 handle's in the right side of that thing. Brando, hello. Ken has to, I gave my pay raise to the grocery store. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's good info. Thank you for sharing. Sorry about that, but Athens, Greece, price is normal, but we've been warned. Athens, Greece. Justin, are you really in Athens? Spectacular. I've been there once. Terrence says CPI, rejoice, rejoice. We have no choice. $3.30 a gallon in Boston, manageable. I have a little warning flag that just went off and said, it's time to start. Okay, good morning. For those of you who are new, and for those of you who aren't new, my name is still Jim Cagnina with NinjaTrader. I'm the Senior Education and Trading Specialist for the NinjaTrader platform. Do want to remind everybody, trading futures options on futures involves substantial risk of loss, not suitable for all traders and investors. Oftentimes in future trading, you have a high combination of leverage and volatility, and although that can be an equation for opportunity, also an equation for risk, so be careful. Only fund your futures trading account with risk capital. My personal definition, money I could afford to lose, doesn't change my lifestyle, doesn't lengthen my retirement horizon, doesn't overly anger Mrs. Cagnina. The third part, a little bit of tongue in cheek, but not really. Stress in life matters. Be in a good spot. We make bad decisions when we're under stress. At least I do, that's for sure. So be careful there. Easy on the day trade margins. We are logged in today to the NinjaTrader platform in my simulated live trading account with a real-time data feed. So I appreciate the questions and the feedback coming in. Hello from Facebook. Larby, thanks for being here. Justin, yep. Yep, he's saying yep to Athens, Greece. Love it. Morgan says, Morgan made the chat. Oh, Morgan, you're on the Zoom side, but that's okay. We're glad to see you're back on the chat side. Good morning and good trading to all. Appreciate that. Gasoline reached a rate in Italy of $9.30 per gallon. Is that €9 or nine? That's no matter what it is. That's crazy. Wow. Well, good thing they have good rail system there. Wagger, good morning. Rick, great highways. All right, let's get started here. Colin says he's got 30 ticks from gold due to the CPI report. Yeah, CPI came out, and it's one of these things where you never could tell what's going to happen. I mean, the numbers came out, and if you listen to the news and the press, and I'll just show you really quickly, 0.9% month over month, which, was not only pretty significantly far away from consensus, right? The consensus, the economists who know all this stuff, but the consensus range, it even was kind of pretty far away from that. So that was a miss. Year over year, 6.2, another miss. X food and energy is another miss, and X food and energy is year over year another miss. So not good news on this front. So you'd expect to have some violent thrust downward, and we'll go over the rest of this stuff here on my cheat sheet. But we're only down four handles in the E-mini S&P. I mean, we had this really big dominant candle here, right at when the number, it was released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics at 7:30. This is the 7:30 to 7:40 candle, and you can see the high to low is 21 handles or 21 points. We refer to a point as a handle. That's a significant thing, but there was no continuation. We had a doji right after that. This doji is kind of an incisive doji, really. I wouldn't label it anything unique like gravestone doji or anything like that. I would kind of just say this is a doji. Uncertainty for 10 minutes, took a breath, and then we recovered a little bit up to yesterday's lows, and then we kind of went sideways, and then on the open, let's go to my 8. Oops, is that wrong one? Here we go. 9:30 to 9:40 candle, and we started seeing green continuation up to yesterday's close, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So the moral of the story is, sometimes even though the indicator should be obvious, or not the indicator, but the release is, the economic release is obvious to some about what's going to happen in the market the rest of the day. Sometimes it's the opposite. And remember, this whole idea of inflation is it's going to be strongly correlated to the Fed tapering, right? Because the Fed is basically going to scale down its QE program, and it's going to, the money in the system is going to start becoming smaller and smaller. And when I mean money in the system, the money at the banking level to go ahead and make loans and secure repeated loan cycle. A lot of times you go to the Fed and you get money from the Fed, and that creates a multiple of 6 sometimes when loans kind of are actually issued. So what's going to happen is that's going to shrink, This is my opinion, of course. And as it shrinks, there'll be less money to appreciate prices and things will slow down. Anyway, that's the economic textbook in me. I'm actually reading this book called Secrets of the Temple by William Greider, Greider. It's like 1,000 pages long. It was published in '87. Awesome book. Learning a lot about the Fed. Anyway, it's kind of geeky. I wouldn't recommend it to. Actually, if you have insomnia, you could read it and you'll fall asleep in an hour. It's going to take a long time. CCI strong. They're just battling up here. Moving average cross, we're crossed above, which is a good signal. Overall, I have a daily chart somewhere. Here it is. Voila. Let me get my little light stick out. So we're we've seen some. Let's get the right chart up, Jim. Yes. Again, bull market. We're just powering our way up and up and up. So looking for places to buy, even with today's information that we have released today. So let me go ahead and just kind of make this a little bit more discreet. We'll refer to that in a minute. Again, looking for areas to buy, and I'm going to do a contemporary fib line right now. I'm going to go ahead and just highlight it, and I'm going to make sure my crosshairs is on, so I can move the fib to the right side of the chart so it doesn't get in my way. So I'm going to click on the low, and that's going to be the 740 to 750 bar, and I'm going to move it all the way up to the recent high, which is where we're at right now. I'm not going to move it up to the high last night because that's not part of the trend, right? The trend is it's a swing trade, right? It's a swing move, A to B. Alternatively, if I would have drawn the fib A to B on the downside, you could have done that and captured the full field, if you will, if you're a sports fan. But I didn't do that. So I'm doing it this way. I'm looking at these fib numbers. I'm looking at the top of the value area right now, and I want to see where volume is going to start accumulating up top, if it's going to start accumulating up top at all. Right now, I'm not interested in being overly aggressive on a trade entry, so I'm just going to go to the top of the value area for now, and we're going to play around with it as these tails kind of develop, as these wicks kind of develop. And we have a low, higher low. Let me get my pointer out. It'll be easier to see. My pointer out, easier to see. Lower, high, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, continuation candle, possible continuation candle. And then we have a series of higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. Very bullish. So right now we're just kind of taking a breath, waiting to see. Am I interested in doing a counter trend, little sell right now? No. Although there could be a compelling idea here if we do get a double top situation, right? Let me just draw another line here to make it easier to see. It'll be a horizontal line. If I'm talking too fast, I'm sorry. I'm on coffee number 3 actually today. Coffee number 3. Griffin's out at 76.25. First decent trade of the week. Holy smokes. Sorry to hear that, but that's okay. The week is early. The week is young, right? Is it Wednesday? We got a lot of time left in the week. Not even halfway done yet. Collins, no, I'm on Eastern time on my charts and on my references. So if I said something wrong, I apologize. So I know I'm from Chicago, so I'm from I'm a central time zone guy my whole life. I recently relocated to what they're calling the East Coast, not really the East Coast, but and now my whole timeline is all crazy. But these charts here are Eastern time, and then the economic releases tend to come out at 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, and then the market opens up. The cash market and the equities anyway opens up an hour later at 9:30. I have to adjust my thinking and constantly think how I say it because I keep messing it up. Hey, Jim, daily chart on ES is showing a Jim style rectangle. Can you take a look? Yes, we can do that. Let's get that up there. So this is a weekly. Let me just shoot over. I don't know what I was looking at. Sorry, guys. Let's go to daily. So daily, all right, so I'm going to draw a couple lines here that strike me as interesting right off the bat, right? So we're going to go, where's our long-term, my long-term area of support is this line here, right? Resistance turns into support. We cruise through it easily. Trend channel, Easy peasy to draw one of those today. You know, because again, I'm just going to just pick some real rough areas here and draw a channel, and I'm going to say, you know, that's pretty steep. That's a steep, and again, that was a rough kind of a drawing there. You know, we're starting to go sideways a little bit. We're starting to, I don't know, turn around a little bit, but you know, we do that sometimes. I mean, look at here. We had, you know, 1, 2, 3 days, we resumed the trend. You know, 1, 2 days, we resumed the trend. You know, we did have, you know, September was rough. September was rough for a lot of reasons, but we kind of continued on our merry way. So let's see what happens here. I don't know about a triangle per se, but you know, I would like to see. You know, right here, we're at the top of this candle here. We'll see if we continue. See if there's is there going to be a continuation candle today or not on a daily chart. Right now, we're just not sure. The market's like, wait a second, we're gonna form a doji right now, and we're gonna take a deep breath and wait and decide what to do. So that's what I'm seeing right now. You know, the daily data, I'd rather kind of take a bigger picture and kind of see more data as opposed to less. I mean, if you wanted to drill in really deep into the last, you know, 3 or 4 days, then you could drive yourself crazy with patterns and triangles and rectangles and reversals. And I'm going to stay away from that. I'm just going to look at this and say we're still bullish. You know, we did close below that relative random channel I drew, but you know, let's see if we can get another close below that, or if we're going to get a drive back up to it. Right now, uncertain. So a counter trend trade, you know, I'm not going to poo-poo it. What I want to, you know, if there's a double top coming up here, I'm thinking maybe, right? Maybe that would be an opportunity to see a double top. You know, alternatively, the other flip side of that coin is, hey, we're going to buy in a breakout. If we start, you know, trading above 46.8, we're going to have an up day today instead of a down day today. And I want to see some movement. So let's kind of hang tight here, wait for another candle. It's only 10:12 East Coast time. Last 3 days are flat, right? Busy. I agree. I hear you, man. And you know, another way sometimes when I look at these charts, and I do this sometimes when I'm, you know, at night when I'm alone. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That sounded bad. I'm gonna go, you know, line on close. When you do line on closes, it does sometimes provide some level of clarity, right? You know, so when I look at this line on close here, it's really nicely sloped upward. You know, and then we have kind of a sideways type of behavior, similar to what we did here. You know, we had some sideways type of behavior, a little choppy, and then we resumed our course upward and downward. I'm not, I'm not sure. You know, if we're going to continue. There's plenty of money in the system, as we talked about yesterday, for liquid investment dollars, right? We talked about M1, and I pulled up Fred, which is Fred's my friend. Fred is a St. Louis Fed data website. It's pretty good, actually. There's a lot of data you can pull off of here, and I'm just looking at the M1 money supply. This is liquid money, right? You go to the bank and you can get cash out, put in your pocket, that kind of liquid money. But look at the explosion. Let me kind of make this so it's not so crazy. Look at the explosion here, the pandemic explosion to cash, right? It's continuing, and so, you know, why is the equity market rallying so crazy when people are putting cash in their pockets, right? The moral of the story is this money is going to go somewhere eventually. It's not going to stay in people's pockets. It is going to go somewhere. Anyway, just kind of a little fun cheat sheet there. Let's see. I'm missing all sorts of great commentary. Thank you, Griffin, for that. Yeah, why are you looking to go long and not shorting resistance at the top? Griffin says, because overall we are up in an uptrend. That's exactly right. Trend is your friend. Counter trend trades sometimes work. A lot of times do not. Based on my experience, this is just, you know, my humble experience. Counter trend trade strategies, you know, every once in a while are really sweet, but a lot of times are not quite so sweet. So I'd rather be patient, let the market come to me. That's one of my top 10 rules. Let the market come to me with the limit orders. It's my best practices rule. I just threw something there, threw up kind of a conservative trade idea right now. Maybe we'll get more aggressive and get to the 23.6% retracement level. Let's see what happens with this next candle. That's kind of how I feel about it. Randall's looking, is keeping an eye for a short opportunity, but who knows at the moment. Griffin says nothing has told us it's a top, so right now we'd be guessing if it rolls over something and can't make higher highs, then I might look short. But that's just me. Griffin, are you typing with the pencil right now? I'm just kidding. Okay, then retests and can't make a higher high. Then I might look short. There you go. All right, on the other side of the chat box, Shaitan, did I say that right? I apologize in advance if I say your name wrong. Not to mention the astronomical spending bills. You're right. Well, that's true too. That's by the same token. Morgan says, when you have time, can you explain the line on close thing again? Yeah, so a line on close, all it's doing in a candlestick chart, in a candle, let's start with open, high, low, close. Open, high, low, close. And wow, what kind of chart is this? I got to fix my widths and my lines. This just shows the open of a bar, which is the hash mark on the left, the close of the bar, hash mark on the right, the high of the bar, top, the bottom of the bar. That's open, high, low, close. The candlestick just fills the middle part in between the open and the close of the bar and color codes it. That's all it does. So, but a line on close just shows the price that the bar closed on. And it doesn't show the other parts of it. It doesn't show the open of that bar. It doesn't show the high or the low. It just shows the close. And so a lot of times it's kind of smooths out you can kind of see the trend a little bit better. It's called line on close. Let's see. So Busy says, you see the market coming to you. I see a falling knife. That drop fear is tough to overcome. Well, all right, let's kind of look at that. Let me pull my candle back up. Talk about drop fear. Did you have a drop fear here? If you did you have drop fear here? Did you have drop fear? Did you have drop fear here? Did you have drop fear anywhere in this trend? Well, then you didn't do anything, or maybe you went short and got lucky, but for a real short-term trade. But the trend is positive. There's, the fear is this whole fear of the market breaking. I have this conversation with my brother Chris all the time. It drives me crazy, right? We have this call. He was on the floor also a long time ago, and we have this call in the mornings, and his thing is the mini Dow, and we're crashing today. I mean, he's been telling me this every day for like 9 months now. I'm like, no. It's not ready. It's not. There's two. Where are you going? Where are you going with your investment money? What's better assets that you could buy? Are earnings that bad? Earnings like rocked this quarter. So anyway, I don't have that fear at all whatsoever. I'm not, and that's why we have stop losses, right? Get best practices, get it in there, for sure. So, but the reason we're doing a 10-minute chart is we're looking for a 60-minute opportunity. That's all. Yeah. So, how could you retract a message? You can't do that. That's a violation. So no, I mean, the important part about what we're doing here today and what we do on these Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday events is to share information and go back and forth. I'm not smarter than anybody else. And it's, my experience of our certain experience over this time, and you guys have your experience, and it's a great dialogue to be in here going back and forth. So don't be shy, type in your thoughts, your feelings, your hopes, your dreams. Kimasabi says always use stop loss. That's best practices as far as I'm concerned. Griffin says the hardest money in the world is picking tops and bottoms because it can't be done. If I had a top or bottom, I'm just lucky. Easy money is in the middle. I'm going to say that I like that philosophy. And so if we just look at what's going on with the candles right now, momentum is slowing down. CCI is finally starting to arc downward, right? We're still 165, still pretty positive. We had this huge slope upward on the CCI oscillator. And now we're kind of peaking out, slowing down, arching down, but not arching down significantly, right? Not arching down significantly, just kind of maybe going sideways and kind of just slowing our roll on momentum. This is a momentum indicator in my mind, not necessarily an overbought or oversold situation. Overbought situation, I don't buy that. The CCI could be over 200 for all day long, as far as I'm concerned. It's just not, from a day trade point of view, I don't like that idea. Again, just my experience. Looking strong again. We're getting to that double top area, and we could try a counter trend trade if folks want to. I mean, I'm not above. The fib lines constantly has to move in this scenario, right? So that's the problem with trying to fib on a trend day up. You kind of keep tweaking it up and it keeps losing its relevancy, right? And so one of the things that hasn't lost its relevancy, though, is the top of the value area. So my entry point is going to be moved up to that area right there at 72 even. But that's whoever made that comment, great comment. It's like a moving target when you're trading at the top of your fib range, right? Low to high. I started at the bottom here. I went high, and that's if I would have done a high to low, we would have already retraced and the trend reversed at the 61.8% level. So good thing we didn't do that. Mackerson says fair play. 46.77 looks an early entry. I would love to see 77 after we get filled on our 72s. I'm just kidding you. All right, let's shoot over at micro Nazi, see if we see a different pattern, or if we see the same pattern, or if we see anything at all. Here's the thing about these micros. Look at that wick, man. Not micros, but about the NASDAQ. That was an ugly, ugly wick down here on the open, right? We had a lot of, a little less volume in this particular market. I think I have it on the left-hand side here, MNQ. You can see it on the trading ladder. Bid-ask spread sometimes bigger than a tick. It's in double digits instead of triple digits on the bids and on the offers on the depth of market screen. So you get these big wicks, and better have them in the micros than in the big classic NASDAQs, because you could kind of put your stops around the situation a little bit better and give yourself some more breathing room. So again, the fib, same kind of thing. I'm going to go ahead and add my fib. I'm going to go low to high, and I am going to use the whole wick. Some people don't. Some people go to the body, but I'm going to use the whole wick. There was transactions made there, and we're coming back down here. Yesterday, this is yesterday's red. Yesterday close. The 38.8% is looking like there's a lot of meat in the volume profile from that point of view. So guess what? That's going to be a unit for sure. 50%. I'm going to line it up with the volume profile. Let me just kind of look at the candles a little bit more. For a second unit. And then I would probably wait right here, right now, to see what's going on with this. And I'm going to put my right at the bottom of the value area is going to be stop. And actually, I don't think we put our stop in yet in the ES, which is bad trade management on my part. Let's get back there and do it real fast. Because if you're not looking, and several of you suggested that this thing is going to fall out of bed, you don't want to get too whacked right now. Again, I'm gonna line it up right at the point of control for now, and then we'll manage it once we get filled. So this would be a sell stop, and that's kind of how I'm going to manage this trade and see if we can pick up a little bit of love at 72, and then kind of turn it into something bountiful. Bountiful will be the word of the day. Investment Club 369, good morning and welcome. Joe Gold, good morning. Johnny is asking, what's the easiest and most efficient way to trade the ES? Well, I like the NinjaTrader trading platform, and I'm sure that's not the basis of your question, but this is the question of the universe. Life, the universe, and everything. According to Adams, the answer is 42. But I don't know. We're exploring the best ways, right? We're looking for a day trade here in this time frame that we're operating between 9 and 10 o'clock East Central Time, 10 and 11 o'clock Eastern Time, using a 10-minute chart, using volume profile, using Fibonacci, using CCI, and using moving average cross. So I don't. Your question, I could answer it a million different ways, but if you kind of narrow it down, Johnny, to like, here's what I want to, here's my constraints, here's my personal thing that could maybe be more helpful. A lot of times I'm just not helpful. I understand that. Amin, good morning. Okay, Terrence is asking about the hash marks on the right. Well, have you tried just kind of adjusting? You could adjust the. You see how I could grab the right-hand side, the y-axis, and just kind of expand it and contract. And as you expand it, you'll see more data. As you contract it, you'll see less. Try that if that's your question, if I'm understanding your question right. Mackerson's got in short at 77. Let's keep our fingers crossed for him, because if he can get down to 72, then both of us could be winners. Maybe, I don't know. I like the 60. I like the 69.70 area, or below that 38.2 retracement as a target. I like that. It's a good thing. Right now, we're just we do have a weird kind of outside bar, bearish engulfing, it's called right now. So what that is you have a higher high, a lower low, and a red bar in the middle, body in the middle. If we were to end right here, this would be called a bearish engulfing candle. And the name is, of course, suggesting a downward move. If it were a green body, it would be the opposite. It would be a bullish engulfing, right? It's kind of engulfing the previous candle. That's a candlestick thing. It's a candlestick thing. Griffin says trading is incredibly personal. What is easy for me may be very difficult for others. That is part of what makes it so great. No two people trade the same. So, that's on that note, Griffin, I just had everybody, we're going to do a special event on trading psychology. And I've been reading these trading psychology books and all of these things, and it's going to be awesome. I just got the folks to give me a thumbs up. I could do it. I don't know if it's going to be on the calendar next week or the week after that, but it'll be a lot of fun. We'll talk about, the chemical processes that are going through your brain, dopamine, serotonin, adrenaline, things you can't control really from a chemical hormone process. But we're also going to talk about biases, cognitive biases, heuristic biases, all sorts of fun stuff. So that's coming up. Stay tuned. Louis said if this was easy, we would be rich. That's right, Louis. Me and you would be on a beach drinking a margarita, placing a couple trades on a laptop if it were easy. And hopefully everybody here would join us. Griffin says to Mackerson, 71 or 72 is about where my 3-minute chart says we could pull back. No idea if it will. Yeah, so Griffith, Mark, yeah, so he wrote a couple of books. Disciplined Traders is one of them that's literally sitting on my desk right this second. I could see it. It's a lot of fun. And this fellow was on the floor of the board of trade about the same time I was. I might have actually predated him by a couple of years, but he was down there early on. His CBOT experience was down there when I was down on the floor. Well, I mean, we're talking Is it a half a century? No, it would be 40 years, maybe 40 years ago. I can't believe I said that out loud. It was a long time. I was young. I had hair on top of my head instead of like in my ears and my eyebrows. Yeah, and Michael, hopefully by the time I actually do it, I'll have a little bit more knowledge. I've been reading like a crazy man. But then I found this book, The Secrets of the Temple by William, like I said, Greider, and it is about the Federal Reserve, the history of the Federal Reserve and how it operates. And I know things have changed a little bit since 1987, but not that much. Let me see if I could find it for you. I'll pull it up on Amazon just to kind of peek it over. This is it. Recommended it, man. It's huge. It's like 1,000 pages. I'm like 80 pages into it. Can't put it down. So Secrets of the Temple. It's just kind of a little tip for today. 75. I have hope though that this bearish engulfing candle lives up to its reputation, right? We have a lower high. We're pretty close to getting a lower low. The worst thing that could happen is we have an inside bar with a green body. That would be the worst thing that could happen. So let's see. We're a few ticks away from our target, and we have our emergency stop in. We'll change that around a little bit once we get in the game. There we go. Oh. So remember, limit orders at your price or better. That's what this order is here. Let me freeze the dome and show you. There's my trade right there, 72 even. It's also mimicked on the chart. You could, trade management either side. That's why NinjaTrader, in my opinion, is so awesome. You could, do what I did, right click and send an order. You could click on the trading ladder, whatever you want, whatever's easiest for you. So I like to, there we go. All right, so now we're in the game. We are in the game, and let's kind of think. Moving average cross is still our friend. The second candle here is about the same size as the previous candle. We got 8 or 9 minutes to go, and we're going to make an adjustment. One of the things we want to do immediately is let's put a profit target in right now as we contemplate what we do with the stop loss. And my profit target, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do an emergency kind of a profit target right at the highs, and we're going to tighten things up as we go as this candle tells us what the heck to do. And we're going to more than likely, start creeping up the stop to the 61.8. I'm going to do that right away, right to the 61.8 retracement, kind of tightening our grip around this thing. And then we're going to be agile today. We're going to be mobile today. I really like this idea that the second competing point of control on the top here is starting to form right here. 16,200 or so contracts traded at this histogram bar versus the 18,600. So we're only 2,000 away from a new point of control, by the way. And I like the idea of having this become the point of control. And I know this is kind of like another one of my biases, right? I don't know which one. Thinking that this is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it gives me an area of interest. So as this trade matures, that could turn into our target, right? That could turn into our target. There would be a three-handle target instead of a 7-handle target. Let's just shoot over to the NASDAQ real quick, see what's going on there. Anything happen, positive, negative. Let's see what we got cooking here. Still nothing. We're, maybe my target's too conservative down here. You could certainly be more aggressive, but I have a feeling that if we start making new lows, I'm looking at that red line here, we can get some momentum just because it's the micro NASDAQ instead of the E-mini S&P. It's more volatile. These wicks have it. These candles have a tendency to whiplash. Whiplash is a bad word, but I'm going to use it anyway. So we got some room there to grow on this trade idea. And this trade idea, we're in it. Why does it keep doing that? Why does it keep messing up my mojo? Sorry about that, guys. This is what happens when you get really old. Working the mouse becomes exceedingly difficult in driving those two things. Looks like a great entry on a 3-minute. Let's see what we get here. I'm patient. Patience. That's kind of a thing with me. Lee have you read The Creature from Jekyll Island? Is that a trading book? Is it a horror novel? I haven't. Let's kind of pull that one up just to see what you're talking about. It's called, what is it called? Sold 50 contracts in the Euro futures. And I'm going to say, aha, all right, I'm going to pull this up. Another one. Are you recommending this, Lee? If you are, I'm all over it. We're going to, even though it's a pricey meatball, although Kindle version is only 17 bucks, Creature from Jekyll Island. I have this in my cash now. This is something I'm going to look into. Thank you for that tip. I have not read this. Great book about the banking system. Secrets of the Temple. Sounds like a book from Indiana Jones movie. I gotcha. I don't know, Herbert. Today's one of these days. I hear you, man. Overall, we could be a seriously big down day today later on. I don't know if it's. I think anything could happen today. I'm kind of. I'm optimistic that we're going to be stable or we're going to appreciate, but I don't know if that one particular candle is going to tell us exactly what's going down for the whole rest of the day. And hopefully, my intuition is right about this. Let me see what happened here. Oh my gosh, Jim, you are so bad at chart manipulation. You should be fired immediately from your day job. That point of control moving up here. I'm kind of, we touched it again just now. This 76 area, and hopefully we'll start trading above it, and then we're gonna come up with what to do with our trade idea. And I'm inclined right now to kind of move our target down to that very area, a little bit above it. Let's do that. So stop loss, get it all the way back up to 38. And or you could even go break even if you are super confident, but I want to stay above this wick here, pretty low wick, and we'll see if we can pull it off and then look for another trade idea. I know this is frustrating. One of the things that's most frustrating is when you see this like 1, 2, 3 ticks away from getting filled or potentially getting filled. It's frustrating, and you want to move your target. And that's usually not good practice, best practices. So we're going to keep it here. This is either going to be a 2-handle loser or it's going to be a 4-handle winner. Just keep it there, slow and steady. But so psychologically speaking, talking about, what's going on on my head right now, I see green, I see positive numbers, I see happiness, I want to go. And you really kind of need to, there we go. You kind of need to adjust that mindset. I'm going to go ahead and cancel. Don't forget, this is no longer valid since I'm doing this manually. Let's just take a peek at the MNQ here. We'll go back to the ES in a second. I'm holding pat on the MNQ, holding pat there. ES, man, why am I keep on messing this up? Next time, I'm just going to have a separate chart book altogether. That's what we're going to do next time. So I don't have to keep doing this. Green candle, again, 76, volumes accumulating around the 76 area. This baby's going to go. It's going to go. It's going to go. Maybe. We're approaching new highs. Still don't see a counter trend trade idea that I'm interested in. Although, let me suggest one thing on the although part. I'm going to draw my rectangle. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to look for area of resistance, and I'm going to draw it. There it is. There's my rectangle. That's the rectangle of the day right there. And what I did was the bottom of my rectangle corresponds with the highest body of a closed candle. And I went, I don't know, about 8 ticks above the highest peak, the highest wick or shadow or whatever you want to call it. So now we've kind of generated this area of resistance, right? We can't close in there. We can't get a candle to close in there. Resistance in my world is a range. It's an area. So from a counter trend point of view, it's looking more and more attractive, right? Of course, we can get back in here one more time, and then we know where our stop is, and it could be, a great trade idea. We have enough data points now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have almost an hour worth of resistance up there. An hour worth of resistance up there. So that's kind of impressive. So, right now, I know it's kind of contrary to, hey, I'm looking for places to buy and all that stuff. There's more validity in my idea of the idea of maybe trying to go short. But alternatively, I think there's also an equal validity in trying to go long again. And what I would suggest, I would wait for this wick to be cleared. Previous candle's wick is going to be cleared possibly. We'll see where this candle closes. We got 9 more minutes though, is the tough part. And so 38.2% is very aggressive to go long again. Let's kind of look at that volume profile a little bit better. Just short of this area of weakness here on the volume profile. 50% is very conservative. I'd probably split the difference right now. Or another approach is be ultra, ultra, ultra conservative and just wait, see if we can get down to that 61.8 and then zip an order in there right now. But again, that could take a long period of time. Let's see what this red candle tells us. Let's see what happens. Griffin says, all right, so this is Griffin's trade management. And I hear you. And it's his style. Remember, he talked about early on about how this is a personal journey for everybody. Everyone's a little different. Once his target is about to be hit, or he's approaching his target, he moves his stop to break even. And that's a totally valid strategy. The way I kind of look at it is I'm willing to kind of just be patient and wait. And my targets and stops are probably a little further apart than Griffin's. So that's maybe the difference between our two approaches. And both of them are valid for sure. Well, maybe mine's not valid. His is valid for sure. Flatboy, is this live or delayed? I am a live human being. I'm drinking coffee right now. Unless this is kind of some weird disturbed reality that I'm in, or unreality, I think we're live. I'm not sure what your question is, but this is a live presentation. My name is Jim Cagnina with NinjaTrader, and it is 10:43 East Coast time. Rick's long at 72. I like that. Although I'm worried about this wick, though, to be honest with you. I'm worried about the lower low here and the fact that we got 6 more minutes on this candle. I'm going to be real conservative here. I'm going to go down below, between 38 and 50. And then I'm going to be below that 61 for my stop, probably 8 ticks. So 60, it's 55, 65, 63-ish. And then do a sell stop right there. Kind of what I'm thinking. Let's take a peek over again. I'm going to kind of create a brand new, let's get rid of this micro Bitcoin thing here. Let's go to, there we go. We're going to toggle back with the tabs. You see the series of tabs on the bottom? And I did some funky with the CCI there. Someone asked how to do that. I got a series of tabs down here. You can just right click on one to duplicate, or you can hit that plus button to add another one. It's a lot easier to kind of toggle back and forth without watching me kind of adjust around. So the data, there's no delay here. I mean, the only delay possibly would be on the YouTube stream, right? I'm looking at real-time data right now. This is a real-time data feed. There's no, I'm in a sim account, full disclosure, simulated live account, but it's a real-time data feed. And that's a great thing about CME is, you know, the trader in Hong Kong is seeing the same thing as a trader in Chicago, the same thing as the trader in London. This is how great the internet has become with respect to data transmission. So RD Pardo, which trade are you referring to? I'm a fan of putting stops and targets around candle formations and not establishing a predefined ratio. Predefined ratios kind of, you end up having to place your profit target and your stop loss oftentimes in places that don't make sense. And, you know, let's say I'm going to do a 2-to-1, right? I'm going to try to get 8 ticks and risk 4 ticks. But the paradigm of the market at any given time, the buying and selling, you know, the support and resistance levels at any given time could be different than that 2-to-1 ratio. And now you're stuck with that ratio. So I'm not a fan of that at all. And, you know, if I have to put a stop in an area where I think it's reasonable that we're not going to get to, and simultaneously have a profit target where I think it's reasonable we're going to get to, you know, based on the candle formation, and then that's how I look at it. And I know, and it's kind of, you know, you read, it's contrary to a lot of other gurus, quote unquote, say, but you know, it's you know, what's the probability of price action going a certain direction? And I think you could determine that by looking at the candle, buying and selling, knowing what's going on fundamentally in the world, and then looking at the volume. Anyway, so I'm a little bit. That's just me. That's my philosophy. Let's go back to fib line. Let's get that on here too, because I want to see maybe be more aggressive here in a minute. Let's see, 1047. Excuse me, I still got these allergies driving me crazy. We'll just see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. 2 more minutes. We'll get a new candle. We'll get a new candle in a couple more minutes. Eckerson says 71.72 does look like an area where we're getting a far bit of transactions going on. Yeah, I mean, look at this point of control number 2, competing point of control coming up strong here. We'll see if we get there. You know, I also want to look at the candle, this previous low right here. That low, we have a higher low, and is that going to maintain itself or not? Again, we got a minute and a half. It may not. We'll see. Or we might have a continuation candle next candle. Oh, Morgan, sorry about the AC inspector thing. No, I didn't talk about the expansions, the extensions rather. Morgan's asking about the fib extensions, which is another tool. It's kind of a 3-point tool idea. You know, you click on it and then you kind of go one, you know, high to low and then high again. So this is a case where you could actually pick off, you know, a ABC swing, A, B, C. And in this particular case, as the pattern suggests, it's, you know, these fib lines are going to be real similar. But what it allows you to do is pick a three swings, and we could do it a different way here. Let's do it from high to low, and it's going to give us a different picture. But by doing the extensions, 1, 2, 3, and let me drag it way over to the side here. And now it's going to give us different, real similar, in this particular, since we're range bound here, real similar type of fib numbers. But it's a tool to use, maybe more when we're trending, I don't know, but that on today's, I don't see it being useful. I like where we're at right now. Point of control shifted up. We've made it 73.5. Let me just shoot over here on the dome for the micros just to see if we're even close. Nope, not even close. And then you could kind of clear it over by just clicking on the tab. We're just not even close to that. So it begs the question, is it time to get in at 23.8? Very possibly. And that's a valid idea. I mean, this is right at the point of control, 23.8. 23.6, sorry. Again, I'm not really, until we see some kind of continuation with the lower lows and lower highs, this green candle could squash any counter trend trade idea that I was trying to think about as we go. We might not do anything right now, but this is, again, looking stronger. NASDAQ's down 25 on the day. ES is down 3 on the day. YM's only down 21. A different story early morning for sure. Euro FX 815. That's the Euro US dollar cross. Inflation could have its toll on the currency crosses. Crude oil 83.18. OPEC Plus has poked the U.S. government in the eye a couple of times with respect to a plea for relief. It's a little weird given the fact that we're at Glasgow right now saying no more carbon. We need, and then beg the Saudis, the OPEC Plus, to increase production. A little counterintuitive, but change takes time. Change takes time. So Daniel, I view the point of control as a magnet, right? I view it as a magnet for price. I mean, this is point of control is just where the most volume, what price is the, where the most transactions happen, what price the most transactions happen. That's all throughout the day. 178, more buyers and sellers agreed to do a deal there than any other price. Now you didn't physically, when I say agreed to do a deal, it was done electronically through trading. And so a lot of times these points of controls become in a normal distribution day, become targets. They become like a magnet. This is kind of a funky profile here. So, the more funky the profile, the more the bias is up, the bias is down. There's multiple peaks, the less reliable that idea is. But I think it's a pretty good idea. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at the second level, this second point of control contender, and suggesting that's an area of interest also, where we could, either try to go ahead and have another order entry there, or maybe move this order entry down to there, or move this order entry up to there. So these are just kind of areas of interest. A lot of times they attract price. And if just putting my cursors around this price right now, crosshairs, the last 4 out of 5 bars traded at this price, right? Last 4 out of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, last 4 out of 5 bars traded at this price. So from a profile point of view, a volume profile trader might say, well, we're going to sell the top of the value area in hopes we get back down to the point of control, or we're going to buy the bottom of the value area in hopes we get back up to the point of control. And that's kind of a valid trade idea sometimes. But NASDAQ's a little funky, and it's not really a good normal distribution day. Oh shoot, I promised myself I wasn't going to do that, and I did it anyway. Let's use the tab at the bottom. So this distribution is it's like a double distribution, right? We had a lot of volume down here early on in the day, around 62. Now we have a lot of volume up here where we're trading it right now. This is probably going to be the new point of control at 75. And it's a little bit like a double distribution, not a perfect double distribution because there's too much meat in the middle. But again, it's giving us areas of interest, points of interest. This is a point of interest to me. So from a counter trend trade point of view, trying to go ahead and sell a contract right now, this would be a good target, right? Even though it's only a couple handles away, but a couple handles away is pretty good. So yeah, and Daniel, I appreciate that. There's not a real science to it if I just accumulated volume. I mean, there's no equation like the CCI is an equation. Even a simple moving average crosses have equations. Exponentials, a little more complicated of equation. Let's see. Pratik asks why 6 by 26 in the moving average, simple moving average cross. It's my preference. There's all sorts of different combinations folks could do, and I just kind of found that the 6 by 26 provides me with good enough information, and I kind of want to look for divergence and convergence between the two as opposed to crosses, because crosses kind of delayed lagging a lot of times. I mean, here's a moving average cross up where my crosshairs is, and you kind of miss the move, right? But if you're kind of looking at when the moving average cross starts to diverge or converge between the two moving averages, then they can give you some information, some heads up on, hey, maybe this thing is starting to turn around again. Maybe this is going to add to my short signal idea, kind of thing, in combination with the other stuff I'm looking at. Again, that's just kind of my take on it. No, Daniel, I think so. Okay, Daniel, great question. In a double distribution day, price tends to move from one peak to the other? Question mark. And I would say no to that. I would say sometimes it does, but I would say the paradigm of the market changed. And what I'm thinking here is today has been, I mean, look at this. We were our low to high. We've covered the whole range twice today. 23-hour session since we opened last night. We covered the whole range. So I'm thinking that the paradigm has just changed now. I mean, market happiness is up here now, up where the volume is accumulating. And I think that finally, the market's kind of brushed off this idea that CPI was a buzzkill today. There was the jobless numbers too, by the way. We didn't talk about that. Buzzkill, of course, is a technical term. MBA mortgages, actual 5 points. So everyone's going to flock to get their mortgages now. They think their interest rate opportunity is still there. I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. Literally, it's here you get in Charlotte. You can probably get a jumbo mortgage for less than 3%, which is crazy historically to think about. So I'm not surprised at that at those numbers. We talked about CPI jobless claims. They did it. They ran it today because Thursday is Veterans Day, by the way. Shout out to Mrs. Caggs on Veterans Day, always. But, it's moving it up a day. And that's okay. The data should be the same. They just had to work a little harder last night to get it all accumulated and get the report written, is my guess. But, we're right on consensus. Initial claims consensus 767. We're at 767, right? At the higher end of the consensus range, but this is still a good kind of trend. I think the trend's in the right direction for jobless claims. And then I didn't even notice this 4-week moving average is going down. Sweet, good thing. We want more people working, less people struggling. That's for sure. EIA report came out today. I don't know what it was. And then 12 o'clock natural gas. Again, that's a Wednesday from Thursday event because the federal government is off on Thursday, although Jim Cagnina at NinjaTrader is not off on Thursday. Atlanta Fed would be good to look at. I don't know what number that came out at. Whoa, I got my timeline. Oh, I'm not funky here. Sorry about that. And then this is the other stuff we've seen already today. So Brainerd, I guess, was called to Capitol Hill. That's the other thing to keep your eye on is, who's going to be the Fed chair? Are we going to keep it consistent with Powell, or are we going to go with Brainerd? I think that's what the sports book is telling us, 50-50 odds right now. All right, we're running out of time here. We got 11 o'clock. Yeah, so the lighter blue, guys, that's just out. The dark, look at it this way. The dark blue is one standard deviation of volume. That's all. Lighter blue is outside of that one, that that standard deviation around the point of control. That's all to think about. Okay, closing this down, what I would suggest going forward is I don't mind this particular look and feel. I have a feeling as we go out throughout the day, though, we could end up mid-range around my target for a long period of time. So if you're not interested in kind of hanging tight on a position, consider not doing it. But for me, I think it's reasonable right here. I think it might even be reasonable to get up to the 38.2%. From an entry point of view. This point of control is looking kind of solid. For the MNQ, oh, Jim, stop. Use the tabs. And then you still have to adjust. Same thing. I mean, I like this trade setup. I'd probably consider keeping it. And then probably tighten up the stop to the bottom of the value area once the momentum slows down. Again, my opinion, this is kind of how I'm looking at it right now. I do want to thank everybody for coming. Remind everybody trading futures options on futures involves substantial risk of loss, not suitable for all traders and investors. Easy on the day trade margin. We were in a live sim account today with real-time data feed. We're going to do I think I have another event to do today in an hour. And I'll tell you what it is. You should be able to go to the same NinjaTrader page to see what that is. Platform training. Let's see if that's right. You'd think I would know my schedule by now. I do not. I can't spell anything right either. There we go. And we already said the day was Wednesday, right? Yeah, we're going to talk about indicators. We're going to talk about indicators, top 5 indicators. We're going to talk about all the meanings of all these things that I have on here and kind of what to look for. Appreciate you guys coming. Hopefully, we'll see you again at the next event or the next week. It's Thursday. We're also doing a couple of events as well. Feel free to tell your friends, hit that thumbs up button on the YouTube channel if you merited it. I got a thumbs down. I always get one thumbs down. I think there's one person there really I don't know. Maybe I took his parking spot. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago and just won't let go. In any event, thanks again for coming. Be safe out there and be good to each other. Take care.